So, Star Citizen hit its $250 million funding goal. And with 3.8 around the corner, I thought I'd go back and have a look and see what got me interested originally in the project, and what sort of had me a bit, well, I wouldn't say suspicious, I would say a bit of an... There was a few uh-oh moments where I decided, hang on a minute, I've made a mistake. I shouldn't have sent money or bought a package, and when, the highs and lows of this. So right now is some of the original footage from the Kickstarter, and back then, when I saw this originally, I wasn't overly taken in by it. I just thought, okay, insert space game here, and that was about it. A few friends of mine were like, no, you need to keep an eye on this could be something, and I did just that, but I didn't back it. I was like, I don't know what this is just going to be. Is it just going to be another weird sort of linear basic shoot 'em up? I mean, I had heard of Chris Roberts before, I had played some of his games before, but I didn't really see this as something that could be what it is supposedly now, or where it's going now. But in seeing this here, what is it, the early Art Corp, I don't think you think it was then, it was Art Corp, but this is how I see it anyway with its building style. But seeing all this, it was just like, right, okay, so you can do some flying and you can walk around. The way that I saw this was, a loading screen, and you'd sit here on this landing pad and you could visit a shop or whatever, and that was it. I didn't think anything of it. Like I said, none of this really took that much interest for me, at least. But again, I did keep an eye on it. But then, I think it was, I can't remember the exact date, I know it was in 2013, this got showcased off, which was the hangar module. Now, this was the point when I did back the game, and I can't remember the exact date. If I actually could be bothered and went on my RSI account, I could find out. But this is what sold it to me. I saw this and I was like, right, okay, this is a thing, and this was going to be part. I mean, this still hasn't been added yet. Upsetting, but I'm hoping it does eventually. But this was the hangar module that was shown off, and this was the very early stages. I think it was during a CitizenCon, or I can't remember exactly. But I remember seeing this and thinking, okay, this is interesting, because now I couldn't find the original video that I saw, which was a Star Citizen video, and it was of being inside an Aurora and the Constellation. And when I saw the fact that you can move around the ships and things like that, that's what got my interest. So I got the Aurora to start with, so the ship that's currently sitting right in front of the character. I got this ship. I don't have this ship anymore. I gifted it to a friend to get them into the game. But this was what sold it to me. And nothing happened afterwards. And this was the first part where I got kind of worried, where I thought, uh-oh, I made a mistake, because I'd actually got a Constellation by this point when these hangars came out. And, me being not stupid, not really thinking things through, I'd gone through an Aurora, a Cutlass, and then a Constellation, and it sat here for a while. I didn't really follow the project on the website or on YouTube, so after sitting with this, I was like, uh-oh, I've made a mistake. This is probably not going to go anywhere. But I took it in my stride and thought, do you know what, whatever, and just kind of forgotten about it. Until this came up. And this was the teaser trailer. And okay, I was like, right, okay, this game is now something. There is something to play here. And I was thinking to myself, this actually looks really good. Seeing the fact that you can get in and out your ships and things like that, and fly around and shoot things. And yeah, I actually felt a lot better with my decision, until this kind of sat around for a while again, and it was like, right, is this as far as this is gonna go? Because obviously, when you looked at games that were out at the time, it was like, my sort of idea was, this wasn't again gonna go that far, and I was like, right, okay, I've spent quite a bit of money in here. I shouldn't have, but I did try to keep an open mind. You know, like I said, I've seen what Chris Roberts had released in the past, so I kind of knew it would go somewhere. But that little niggling bit in the back of my head, you know, I think by this point, I can't remember exactly how much I spent, but like I said, I bought the Constellation, I bought an Aurora to fly in Arena Commander, and yeah, I felt a little bit unsure, a little bit uneasy, because like I said, it was just like this weird little arcadey shooter thing that had been released, and I was like, ooh, is this where this game was going? And I was, like I said, a little bit unnerved, unnerved is not the word I'm looking for, what's the word I'm looking for? A little bit concerned with its, where the direction it was heading. Then came the introduction of the first planet, or at least, again, one of the planets. I mean, they did showcase Terra very, very early on. It was some really weird draft, and my god, that guy's face is hanging off. But yeah, so this was the I think it was the social module that they were working on. This was like the sneak peek, and again, you know, a little bit of the hype. Ooh, this looks interesting. And seeing this compared to what it looks like now is a massive difference. But that seems to be a lot of the case with going back and looking at some of the original videos here. But this part of the development, the whole Area 18. So this was the more finished version of it. Was it the finished version? I'm waiting for the video to play through so I can say exactly. Yeah, so I think this was the actual version we got on our hands, and this was brilliant. Not for, say, gameplay standpoint, like, because all we did in this was try to break everything. So try to phase through the wall to go to the Constellation on a landing pad, glitch through the map so you can go sit at the bar at the top of the G-Lock, and look down on everyone from up there. And obviously there was the Grey Cat buggies, which, why did they add that? Why? It was just carnage. People died. There was so much fire. But this was actually really cool, and when they announced that this was going to be where you would go and buy your stuff and socialize with people, it was like, right, okay, this is interesting. You know, the whole, I think they were talking about how it was going to be like a loading screen from space to here, and it'll be the same for every planet, and each planet would have like 3 landing zones. It was like, right, okay, this isn't too bad. Okay, I can see where this is going. Playing this with friends could be a bit of fun, and I actually started feeling a lot better with my purchases, and I think by this point I'd backed a little bit more into the project once the actual social module came out. Like, I'd have to go through my entire purchase history to find out exactly how much and when I bought things, but I did still start feeling a lot better with what I had done and what I had spent, and a lot more faith. Faith is not probably weird, but I was feeling a lot better with where this game was going. Then, Star Marine. Now, this was the teaser. I think it was at I can't remember if it was a CitizenCon or anything like that. Again, it's been a long time. If I actually did my research, I'd probably find out and know exactly. But this came out, and to be honest with you, when I saw the gameplay, this isn't my type of thing. This whole arcadey, like shoot 'em up kind of thing. You know, it just reminds me of Call of Duty. It's not I really do not find that interesting. And I have played this. It's okay. I felt at the time the game sort of handling of weapons and things was very wonky. It's a lot better, and it could do with a little bit more tweaking. But at the time, it was like, I think I actually just went on here with a friend, had a private game just so we could walk around the maps, because they're actually kind of cool, because I love the atmosphere of these things. But as for the actual gameplay, the game itself, I've barely touched Star Marine, so I don't really have much to say on them on this, but it did look cool. Then was this, and this is kind of what sold this game completely to me, and I completely left all realms of reality and started throwing money at this. And that was a lot of money. But it was actually this demo when, again, I think it was like a CitizenCon or a Gamescom, and they showed, and Chris Roberts showed off this. Now, it wasn't just the multi-crew side of things, with the ship spinning around and you being able to stand on it, because that kind of had to work for the direction it was going anyway, but seeing it was really cool. Bug, of course. It was, if anyone has ever seen a CitizenCon video or anything of Star Citizen, you'll know there's always a bug. There has to be a bug. If it's not a bug, or if there's not a bug that breaks something, it's not a Star Citizen demo. Now, originally, it was supposed to be a loading screen of you going from sky to planet. And when they showed this, and it was, nope, this is actually happening, you know, we're going from this to that, that was awesome. And I still think they said they were going to treat it as a loading screen. So as you were coming down, it would cinematic view you so you couldn't do various things. I can't remember off the top of my head, but seeing this really sold it to me. Actually coming from space into the planet's atmosphere and landing. And back then, seeing this was amazing. But looking at it now, when you can do this on Hurston, on Area 18, on ArcCorp, on any of the moons, and very soon Microtech, and even sometime beyond that, Crusader, this was completely out of there. This was like, wow, this was never going to happen, and then all of a sudden it's like, wow, this is actually going to happen, and now to actually be able to do this, it's quite surprising. But seeing the constellation land here at Area 18 was the point when I was not throwing money into this quick enough, and that was personal choice. I honestly thought this game was like, right, okay, it's going definitely the direction I want. I'm really looking forward to this, and I really was blown away with all of this. Yes, then came the baby PU. So this was Port Olisar, and yeah, this really showcased various things that basically shown where the direction that things was actually happening. So when this came out, or at least when this was presented, there you go, there's I think this was the British one, because it was under the Concorde. I remember this one now. But yes, so this was shown, and there was no moons, there was no planets, there was asteroids, I think, and I think Grimhex was in it at the time, or they added it later in. And yes, those two faces are exactly the same. And this was really cool, because again, this was not Arena Commander, this was actually the whole PU, the direction. Well, this was what was going to be the multiplayer MMOE thing. Now, obviously there's Squadron 42 as well, which I'll touch over it later, but this was really the first iteration of the multiplayer universe, and this was amazing. Again, I'm one of these people who, when this came out and I saw it, I was like, wow, this is awesome. And they had, then there's Grimhex there, which I thought was amazing. I've barely been to Grimhex. I don't play as an outlaw, so I don't really get to see Grimhex that much, and I'm too lazy to try and find it. But it looked amazing, and all of this was really cool, and I was so excited when all this came out and we were actually able to play this. And just the difference from Arena Commander and the social module to this was unreal. Now this was, I think it was from a video called People to Planet, and it was a guy who had landed on, I think it was it Delamore? I can't remember. It was the big asteroid base that's supposed to be in Nyx. Seeing this when this first came out, now I'd already seen some of the concept work for this base, which looked kind of cool, but seeing this where it was actually being on the landing pad and then zooming out of the planet, showing that, oh, by the way, this is how it's going to be. You're now going to be flying from space or from the ground, and you're now going to be able to fly basically seamlessly into it. And seeing it in its prototype stage, obviously there's nothing on the planet. It is literally a big sphere of just mush. It just looks like an untextured mess. But the fact that this was working, as a video that they showed us, I mean, you could look at it and say, oh, okay, they were playing with it. That's fair enough. They could play with it all they want. Because, now, like I says, you're able to actually fly from space to planet. But seeing this was amazing because it showed the direction that they were wanting to go and what they were wanting to do, and this was amazing. Excuse me. But that was awesome. And especially since when they released this video, so obviously the very early Moby Glass, which I kind of miss because I don't know why. I kind of like the classic version. And they had the Eckhart mission, and they actually took a ship and landed on, I think it was a moon. I don't know which moon it was, but they landed on a moon. And they got to shoot some things in the face. And it was a really cool video because it was one of the first mission givers. So one of these individuals where you would speak to them and they would give you a mission and things like that. And it was awesome. Again, I never got a mission from Eckhart because he kind of had to be a bit shady. I never play shady or anything like that. And that's you could say it's my own fault. I should really go into just playing at some point and just play everything. Play the outlaw, play the good guy, things like that, and just get the better feel for it. Just so I can play some of the missions. And maybe one day I will. But right now, I'm just going to sit with where I am and just do a lot of explorage. But seeing this freelancer, you fly all the way down into this, was amazing. I actually, seeing that tech demo from just a few minutes ago to this was intense. It was insane. Because, I mean, okay, granted, this isn't a full-size planet. This is just a really big asteroid. Seeing this was amazing. Because it was new. It was something that we weren't expecting, and it was something that really showed the scope of what Chris Roberts was wanting. Now, like I said, the previous section was just an asteroid. They then showed us Homestead. Now, I kind of wish this planet actually made it in, but it was just a demo. It was just a demo planet made to just show this off. So again, they went from space into the planet's atmosphere, onto the surface, and this was I think this was about the time when they turned and says, okay, right, we're going to have our landing zones, but you can also now land wherever the hell you want, wherever you please, provided it's not within an actual cityscape where you can crash into things. So this was just absolutely intense. Because, again, you've gone from a game where, when we first saw it, it was just, you flew around in space, and then there was going to be a loading screen, and then you could land at a couple of preset little landing zones, and now you had us flying from space into atmosphere. You're landing your constellation, driving your Ursa rover off, which is still dangerous to this day to even attempt to put an Ursa rover in a vehicle. But again, seeing all of this, you saw the environment, you saw the effects, you saw the planet. This really showed a lot of where the tech was going, what they were working on, having all the different studios, putting all this into play. And seeing this, I mean, like I said, I'm watching all this through again after many years. And yes, it has been many years. I mean, what was it, 7 years, I think it is? 7 years. And to be fair, if you go by any AAA game now, 7 years is about the norm. I mean, some games have taken a lot more than that. So, when this sort of gets, you see it on various news articles or videos, oh, you're being scammed, or if, seriously, I mean, if they're scamming, they're doing a really bad job at it, because when you scam people, you're not supposed to do anything for them. You're supposed to just take their money and run. I've seen games that are genuine scams take money and not even give you a demo. And there's a few out there. There's a lot out there. Just I'm not going to mention any because a lot of the devs are, well, but anyway, drawing off topic there. This game is going somewhere. So, like I said, I really am looking forward to it after seeing a lot of this stuff. And just a lot of these videos, I mean, this video here is, I think, was Big Guns the UEE, and this was showing off like the Javelin and the Idris and things like that. And these ships are huge and they're fully modeled inside and out, and it just boggles the mind, the fact that someone has sat down, or a group of individuals have sat down and modeled and textured and animated these massive ships. And the fact that people say, yeah, this is a scam, it's a $250 million scam. Yeah, again, a scam that's giving people jobs and actually delivering a product, albeit slow and missing deadlines, fair enough, but they are releasing it. So take with how you will. So then was this, yes, okay, Hurston. Yes, Lorville. Now this was really cool because this was the first planetary body that we got to land on, the actual planet. And landing at Lorville, I actually do like Lorville. It's not because it's got trains. Okay, it's partly because it's got trains, but I like the sort of grim looking sort of side of what this place is. And this really did set the mark on exactly what was going to happen in the future. So if you now look at all the landing zones now, such as Area 18 and what's coming up with Microtech, this kind of set the standard. Now, okay, Area 18, ArcCorp planet, is just one big city, so you can't exactly land like you can with what will be the other planets, but the whole essence of the scale and the actual the actual being able to explore the cities sort of side of things was kind of set here. And I mean, this thing here with the train coming out, I just remember Chris Roberts, I think it was on a CitizenCon, it was like, and now we've just created our own space citizen train simulator because he wants all the networks to run correctly. And I just thought that was brilliant. And showing off some of the vegetation on Hurston as well, on what I think was the satellite mission, and the Valkyrie, which I love and I need to buy back again, was just absolutely amazing. It was a whole new step into new tech and the new direction. Then came ArcCorp planet. ArcCorp planet was, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, when I saw this, and I think it was the same with everyone else that saw this, was just in awe. It was like, wow, seeing it, taking off from Area 18 where we've been going as a social module for so long, and all of a sudden you're able to take off from the pad and fly. I mean, obviously you're not allowed to fly around like this around the actual Area 18 itself, but actually being able to take off and fly through the buildings. I actually think you can fly through the buildings away from Area 18. I don't really go there that much, but seeing this, and then when they flew all the way out and you just saw the buildings actually go further away, so like this, and actually go in atmosphere, this was really cool. I mean, even though, like it says Area 18, you don't really get to land, ArcCorp, I keep saying it, I'm sorry, but you keep sort of, you don't really get to go anywhere else but the actual landing zones, because it's just city. I mean, maybe in the future there might be some weird little pockets where you can, but I doubt it, because it's supposed to be entirely covered in city. But this was just absolutely mind-boggling, and with Planet V4 coming out, I think this is going to look a lot better because of the way that they're doing it. I don't know if the buildings will, the fact that it's a building thing will change, but I am really, really stoked for that. Now, I will quickly mention that, because one of the things that I do see a lot of in the comments of various other videos and on Spectrum and things like that is, it's a big rip-off. Ships are costing thousands of dollars. Now, what I will say to this is, if you are interested in Star Citizen as a game, whether it be Squadron 42 or the actual game, this ship right here, the Aurora, or the other ship with the Mustang, that's the only ship you need to get. Just get the starter package. It's if you're getting 2 games for the price of 1, that's all you need. You do not need to buy anything else. So when you get, when you start complaining saying, oh, you're spending thousands of dollars on a ship, you don't actually pledge a ship. You're pledging the game. You're donating to the game, and they're giving you a ship as a reward, as a thank you. So you don't have to buy any of this stuff. The ships just come as a thank you. I mean, as someone who spent multiple thousands of dollars, yep, that's exactly what I did. I was giving the project money because I believed in it. And every time someone asks me, I say create an account, do a free fly. If you like the game, get a basic game package, because it's all you need. Every single ship you will be able to get in game. So don't worry about it, because people will not be able to afford to run a javelin on day 1. It's going to be bloody expensive to man it with guns and supplies, etc. Alright, and this brings us to the 3.8 sort of reveal with Microtech. This looks awesome. Okay, and now I love snow and all this kind of stuff. So seeing this had me completely like, oh my god, 3.8, can't wait. And they also announced various other things with this patch. Oh, well, not with this patch, but in this video with future things that really made me smile. The fact that they are going to make it so that you do have to eat and drink. Although you'd have quite a lot of time in between. It's not going to be like you have to drink every 30 seconds. But the whole survival mechanic side of things, where you just have to eat or drink once a day or whatever, was really cool. And I actually got really excited with that, especially with the implementation of they kind of showcase it here a little bit, which you're waiting to see here. The guy is literally just in a jacket, and he goes outside into stupidly cold, sort of Arctic blast. So you can see the wind, you can see the snow. He puts his hand in front of his face, and you can probably just about make it out on the bottom left there of the screen. The whole like body temperature, how long he's got to live before he's going to die by catching hypothermia, and that was really cool. I was like, wow. And they actually said that you're going to have to think about your clothing and environment. So it's not just oxygen and vacuum. You've now got to deal with extreme heat, extreme cold. So with this, he's wearing a suit. So he's got the suit on, so you can see the sort of condensation and the snow that's melting on the visor. And this is going to be even on the ships when you fly through clouds, which looked amazing. I should really have got a clip of that and put it on here. But basically, this is going to be on the actual windows of the ships as well when you're flying through atmosphere and flying through rain and snow as well. But this video that they showed, exciting here, one with the jump point with the crack, and I like the crack, so whoever turns around and says it looks horrible, I actually like it. I actually bought the crack because of this. But each their own. But it is going everywhere where I'm wanting. I'm loving the fact that you can now explore the planets, you can now have a survival mechanic, you've now got to worry about actually surviving with temperature and extreme heat, extreme cold. Everything about this game I'm looking forward to. And yes, I was skeptical at first. I was incredibly skeptical, and there has been times where I turn around and say, hang on, I've spent $4,000 or $5,000. I may have made a whoopsie, but I just keep track of what's been going on. They're still making a game. They're still giving us content. There's still something to give us. So, that's my personal opinion on this. I mean, you can say all you want about how it's a scam, it's, nothing's real, they're just taking your money. Like I says, this must be one of the worst scams in history, because they are releasing something, they're giving us something, and they said the same thing. The naysayers said the exact same thing about Wing Commander and all those games, and fun enough, he did it. Chris Roberts released it, and then some. So I don't really have much sort of bad dreams about this all going wrong. And to finish this off, a bit of the Squadron 42. Now, this is the single-player campaign. I know it is separate if you pledge now. So if you back the game now and purchase a game package, it is now a separate thing. So you got to get the game and the Squadron 42. But again, you're getting both games for about the same price as a AAA title. So it depends how you look at it. It's still a bargain. I think my original pack was like $35 and it came with everything, and that was an Aurora. But this looks really cool, and some of the actors they've got involved in this is amazing. So, you know, you've got Mark Hamill there, you've got Mark Strong, you've got Andy Serkis, Gillian Anderson, Gary Oldman. All these people are in this, and with the motion capture, the facial capture, the actual actors themselves, they've done such an amazing job. Even just the clips we've seen, this game looks absolutely fantastic. I'm really looking forward to the story of this. It's in 3 parts. I think the first part is about 50 hours worth of gameplay. Now, granted, a lot of that is going to be you flying around and exploring, but even still, I am one of these individuals that likes to go out and explore in a game. Like, if it says you need to be over here and you've got as much time in the world to go there, I'll go everywhere else but there to explore. It's something I used to do in games like Metro, and any game where you get where the map is so good, I want to look around. So I'm going to be one of these individuals that'll have 50 hours or more in the Squadron 42 campaign, because I'll be going, okay, I need to go over there, but what's over there? There's something over there that looks kind of cool. And that is how I will play this game. And then there's obviously this part 2, which I think is, I don't know how many hours part 2 and part 3 are. I think part 2 is about the same and part 3 is slightly less. And yeah, so that's really all I have to say. I saw the fund goal hit 250 million. It's now well over 250 million, but wow, no, $250 million for a game that's been crowdfunded is absolutely fantastic. And going back and watching the Kickstarter and going back through the footage again and seeing all of this just absolutely blew my mind all over again. Seeing the game that originally had me, ooh, I want this, to now, if this was shown to me back in 2013, back in 2012, when I first saw this video, first heard about Star Citizen, I first saw the video, I probably would have donated a kidney. Nah, not really, but I would have been absolutely ecstatic. But to see the changes in tech, the changes in everything, you know, the fact that, okay, it's been 7 years, but they've changed engines like 3 times. They're now in the Lumberyard, well, now in a modified version of Lumberyard. And they've now got several studios open across the world. They've got so many employees now working on this. So the way that they've done it, there's never a lull in development. There's always development going on. So that's all I have to say. I'm still taken aback by all this. And what do you guys think? So all you that have seen this and have gotten your way to the end, what do you think? Is it a scam? If so, please show me the evidence, because I don't see it. I really don't. And if you don't, and you're curious and you're interested, it doesn't hurt to just create an account and fly during a free flight event. And if you do like it, buy a base package. I'll throw some links down below to help you out with creating a nice free account, so you can at least play a free flight and get your own opinion on the matter. And if you are already in the game, you already have an account, you already have a ship, what is the one thing you're looking forward to most? What is the one thing that has you, oh my god, this will be the day when? So I've been Jack. This has been my waffle on about Star Citizen. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll catch you later.